All right.
Hey, Chenny, are we going to take down a religion? Is that what's going to happen here?
If we must.
If we must.
Are we going to take down the dominant religion?
Again, if we must.
I guess.
Deus Walt.
All right. Last time, 3 curses. The group that is currently unnamed, though deliberations are happening, I think, fought Stefan, who revealed himself fully as a werewolf in his form, along with a group of Howler party on a similar goal to theirs, called the Howler Excavation Unit. Eventually defeating them, the party claimed the Shield of Loretta definitively, kept the enemy group alive, including Stefan, who they are currently deciding exactly what to do with, especially once the revelation hit that Stefan was slaughtering other adventurers coming into loan, including one Paula's friend. At the end of the session, I think you were gone for this as well, Shadow. The group basically just ended up talking for a while about out of character what they wanted to do, especially because some characters wouldn't exactly like that and others would. So we're sort of going to pick back up as we're formulating and finalizing this plan, as Vidnov is sort of reading the notes up top for more information. You guys are free to deliberate.
Right. Get back to it, though. We should find a way to get back and learn as much as we can.
You're muted.
God damn it.
It's been cursed.
Hello?
First step, we need to get off the island, like you said. I think Paul will be able to help with that.
Indeed.
Roy, could you take another sample of that shield? Make sure you get at least half of the blood on there.
Yeah, I could give it a try.
I'm going to speak with Vidnov for a moment, if you don't mind.
Alright, Roy, are you sort of splitting it up in half best you can?
Yeah.
Alright, carefully you manage to put half of the blood in the vial. Are you keeping the other half on the shield, or are you trying to just put them in 2 vials?
I remember. Yeah, it's been a week, but if I remember correctly, the plan was keeping half on the shield and keeping one in the vial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Alright, I'm going to scrape it off. Easily enough done. With a little care. Pause the game, so you can walk around.
Vidnov, could I speak to you alone for a second?
Of course.
Okay, so we've determined, we think, that the power of the shield is negligible compared to the blood that's on it. Roy has a vial of it, and we'll send that, and the half we'll keep on the shield. The idea is we give the Howlers half of the blood, appeasing them, and then take the shield back to the others, appeasing the church. This should give both sides a compromise so that we can continue understanding the situation and keep ourselves, well, alive. The trick is I don't think Paula will understand the gesture. So, if I might ask you, I was thinking, if you leave your familiar behind under the guise of untying our friends once we move our way, you could also use your familiar to deliver the blood to them and an explanation. Hopefully that will be enough to satisfy them.
I see. This would certainly put us in the best position to be able to sway whichever way is more moral, I suppose.
We don't have enough information to really make the best call here, but we do have enough information to know that there is something going on. This does keep us in a good position, while hopefully gaining us favor with both sides. It to borrow a phrase, kicks the stone down the road, but we'll have more time to figure out what to do with it when we pick it up again.
Indeed. The only issue now is once we return to are we going immediately out of the tower, or are we simply going to reconvene?
I don't know that we can do much else in the tower at the moment. Getting out of the tower is going to be our first challenge, I think.
If we take too long, they could catch up to us.
Yeah, it's true. We'll have to take that risk.
Well, we can certainly use my familiar for that, if that is the course of action you want to use.
Could you use message to communicate with Roy what we're doing? It'll allow him to slip the vial to your familiar more easily.
Of course.
Any thoughts on your side?
Adiro, would any of the information I gathered from that desk lean any information into this?
Into this, not so much. If you want, I can go over all the info you would get right now.
Might as well, just so I know
Yeah, just
exactly what to think of.
All right. Yeah, I don't think any of that would pertain, but I won't go over it. So, from the notes, you're able to determine a few facts for sure. One, that the werewolves have been around, or werewolves as a concept, as a myth at least, have been around for a very, very long time. The notes here, this tower as a whole, is presumably incredibly old. Yet, their werewolves are spoken about as if they've always existed. The transformation itself is thought to be a blood curse, acting like a curse to people that contract it, but for purebred werewolves, it's simply just part of their blood. At least that is what the researchers are able to glean. Purebloods do not have a human form. Individuals that contact the curse can learn to control their transformations, however. The most interesting bit of information you learn is that there is a group of original/pure-blooded werewolves called the Lycans, whose identifying factor is thought to be that their bloodstream is almost completely made up of the curse, whereas werewolves only have a tiny, tiny amount of it within their bloodstream. I can write that down. There's also potentially more information you can get if you spend a little more time looking through it.
No, might as well have it written down so I can refer to it. But
I'll put it in Discord.
the howler dudes that we're currently dealing with, they haven't said anything about this other group, the Lycans, have they?
They have not.
Okay. Well, I do think that the course of action you have discussed will probably be the best for at least us until we gather more information.
Well, in that case, we should get back to the others before we get too suspicious.
Vidnov will give a nod and kind of swoop back over to the desk. Once they're, he'll... Let's see. Vidnov will very subtly cast message to Roy to inform him of Aravi's plan with Vidnov's familiar.
Okay.
Yeah, so more or less he would have conveyed, Aravi think it's best to have my familiar hand them the vial after we have started to leave, and then untie one of them.
Yeah. If we're going to do that, bro, it's definitely going to be our best option.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I'm going to, well, Roy's going to start like moving his head around, try to locate the familiar, and it's going to, you know, he has the shield and the vial, but he's like moving the vial with his hand and trying to put it in like a comfortable position when he can discreetly pass it to the familiar when the time comes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll keep that in mind.
So, what is the plan then? I can't stand to be in the same room as him for too much longer.
Vidnov's familiar will untie them after we leave. We'll need to leave them to die. But I think the shield will come with us.
So be it. I just want to get out of here. As long as the shield is with us.
Well, you're the one that knows the way out, so lead the way.
Well, for the cast specifically, I believe if we stand in the teleportation circle, it'll eventually return us back to the foyer. What I was bringing up earlier about leaving this place was information I had about Lone and how to get back to Gura potentially. Is there anything else we want to do in here? If not, then we can go ahead out.
Vidnov, have you learned enough from those desks?
Ugh.
I think I have. We may proceed. And Vidnov's going to take up any. I assume it's not all in a book,
No,
right? There's like.
No, the
Okay.
difficulty in getting the information also is that a lot of them are just drawings and notes scribbled that you can hardly even understand, which is where the hidden information comes from. It takes some time to look through, but you could totally just gather up what you can. And potentially have someone else help you bring the larger things.
I'll take whatever forms of information there are about the lichen group.
Mhm.
I'll try to kind of just stuff them into my feathers.
Okay.
And then if anybody else wants to grab items, I'll just gesture to the rest.
There's not much in the way of gear upon the desk, is there?
There's not. In this room, there are broken, rusted weapons, possibly some in decently working order. There's tools. The only other thing would be like the equipment on the top right. Other than that, not really any weapons.
Hmm. What kind of equipment is in the top right?
You have proficiency with alchemy tools, right?
Yeah.
It's
Three members of the party do.
yeah. I was just remembering which ones did. General alchemy equipment, and specifically seems to be like a focus on like distilling type things.
Huh. I'll take an alembic then.
Alright.
Clank.
All the metal vials just
Oh god.
clank against the bones.
Yeah, just to open up like the chest plate, tuck it in, and close it up again.
The rib cage.
No one suspects a thing.
Time to go, Karps.
Okay, I guess.
Don't worry. I think
Oh,
we'll
God.
run across these guys again eventually.
Okay.
Adair,
Okay.
I'm gonna reload real quick.
Okay.
But Vidnov is gonna fly over to quote unquote stumble onto Roy's shoulder and in the process whisk the vial off of him that he placed so it was easily obtainable.
Alright. Easily enough done.
Ooh, I don't see the background to my character sheet. That's a new thing.
I'm gonna ask Aravi this. Can I at least heal up Stefan a bit? He is still our friend, at least to me.
Yeah, of course you can. We're not gonna leave him here to die.
I'll give Stefan like 10 lay on hand points.
Okay.
Just gonna erase them though.
Stefan goes Hulk mode.
Thank you.
Boss fight, round 2.
Of course, I things for my friends.
teach this lesson to you, old man? Sit down.
Misclick, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck's sake. Oh,
There we go.
I
hated
love the compressed portrait for the icon, the compressed icon in the chat window.
Oh, before I leave Stefan, I'm gonna tell Stefan this. Well, Stefan, we gotta go, but you'll always be my friend. If you need me, just let me know. I may not be smart, but I got a sword arm at least.
That you do,
And that's-
Karps. Perhaps our paths will cross again. At a better light.
Sir, yes, sir. And I'm gonna leave him at that.
He's just sort of looking around. He assumes you're going to release him, but he's kind of confused about how that's going to happen. Everyone like slowly walking away.
We won't leave you here to die, don't worry. The Raven's gonna send back a familiar to help untie you.
I see. Thank you.
We mean what we say. We will happily work with you if we can figure out how.
Perhaps you'll prove me wrong then. I hope you do. I've said before.
Robbie bows his head a little bit, and walks away.
Alright, Sentinel gives a very, very
I
slight
wave
nod.
bye to Rolo. I wave.
Mr. Rolo, I don't give a fuck, I'll run through the movie.
Rolo is actually currently staring at you, mouth watering.
He's gagged.
The drool is falling on top of a doula who is very unhappy about it and their current situation. There's just a lot of like panting and like murmuring from that corner.
Until we meet again.
Shall we?
Let's go. As you leave,
I was gonna sit on top of Alyxend's helmet as they walk.
as you guys begin to leave, the excavation team
Good old bird taxi.
is just kind of bickering with each other. Just kind of happy to have their lives and unconcerned for the most part. Stefan looks concerned, but doesn't seem to be in a position where he could do much about it.
Server's having a hard time tonight.
Having a lot of input lag
Let's
issues.
see.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of rubber banding.
Alright.
But nothing too bad. I might relog in a second just to refresh all my icons.
Where are you?
Unless it's a
hosting?
way to force refresh.
Weird. You guys don't need to walk all the way to the entrance. However, I know you guys have your plan.
Oh, there's a reload.
I assume Vidnov, you're going to summon your familiar.
Yeah, I'd say once we cross the junction down here, I'll spawn the familiar and give it the vial and send it back.
Alright. Familiar will find its way towards the chamber. Sorry, where did you guys want to be when you were doing this again?
I was going to spawn the familiar once we crossed the big warning area that we ran into before.
Ah, yes.
They had the grate on the ceiling.
Alright. You guys get to the southern end of the hallway, the curse gallery. Your unfamiliar is summoned from his pocket dimension. I can bring him up top if you'd like.
Sure. Okay. And what do I witness as I enter the room?
Not much. Again, as basically as I described as it left, Stefan is thinking to himself intensely, while the excavation team is bickering amongst themselves. Rolo is attempting to get the gag out of his mouth, and they notice you as you enter. Or you're familiar.
Fly down to be onto the ground 5 feet away from Stefan. As promised, here to release you, so you can release the others. But something else. And the raven pluck the vial very carefully from its feathered body and gently, carefully lay it on the floor. Half of the potency of that shield within this vial. Something for your group to return with.
That's her blood, then. You know, your neutrality is only going to cause more fighting between the sides. In the long run.
Perhaps. But perhaps change will come of it. Since someone is trying to be less aggressive.
Perhaps. Thank you, Vidnov.
We'll go over and cut a couple of the bands of rope off of his wrists so that he can move.
He moves, stretches out a little bit, doesn't try anything. He will get the rest of himself untied, or begin to, and collect the vial, storing it away somewhere safe. Should probably go away before I release them.
Indeed, and he'll gesture his wing towards the others. I do hope that you become more willing to work and cooperate in the future. And then he'll disappear.
I was gonna eat that bird.
Alright. Zephyr will begin to go, and begin to untie the other group.
I'll dispel the raven back to its shadow realm.
Alright.
The pocket dimension in your pocket.
Yes.
Yes. There's actually a raven
hell did
familiar in
Aravi
every single feather that I have. That's definitely how it works.
Karps wants to at least seal the door with the demon portal.
The game's paused on my end.
Is it good now?
Yeah.
You want to try to seal the door, you said, Karps.
I at least want to tell people that we should close the door. I tell everyone
Oh
that.
yeah.
I don't.
Uh,
I personally don't want that thing open.
sure. We can close it. I'm sure.
If we want, Vidnov could have done that before sending the familiar. That way he could make sure it was shut
Yeah,
properly.
we can say this could happen before.
There you go.
Yeah. Goodbye, books. I'm sure we'll come back for those at some point.
We'll kill you, you stupid vampire. Eventually.
Yeah.
Alright,
Can you imagine, right? Like, however long down the line, we come back to this specific spot just to smack the vampire.
we come back level 20 and just
bad.
one-shot a vampire. And he's like, what the fuck did I do?
Nah. We're gonna come back to these characters. I'm gonna use divine sense on a vampire we just randomly meet, and then gonna be like, you know this vampire. Like, excuse the hell out of me?
Huh?
Oh,
Yeah, right.
it's him.
I've been asleep for thousands of years in that cast. Oh yeah, we were there. We saw you. Wait, what?
Yes, so,
You did
I
what?
will say the door is closed, but Vidnov, as you inspect it, it is not sealed as it was originally.
I would like to... If it seems like I can, I would like to very carefully reseal
Seems
it.
like you can, but there will be a roll.
I will have my familiar do it, and everybody else not be in the hallway.
I was slapping guidance on that bird because I really want that door gone.
The bird dies.
No, the bird had temporary hit points from before. It could live.
He
Listen, I
slaps
don't
it
have a
again.
martial arts dice, so my punches aren't that strong.
Don't you have like a 16 in strength?
Alright.
That's subjective. Let's not talk about that.
Give it a handshake.
You're stronger
It's an
than
additional
me by
D4.
1 modifier point.
Easily enough done.
That's pretty spicy.
The door, the
Nice.
runes return to
Okay.
how they originally looked. You believe the door is officially sealed. And you have a better understanding of how they work as well.
Awesome. Another note to the mind worms.
The mind worms. The mind worms are
yes.
happy. They won't go hungry today.
The brain worm.
And... Okay, that'd been funny if that triggered the last strike. Oh, fuck the timeline.
Yeah, I thought about trying to test it to make sure it was actually working. Then I was like, Wait a minute. I don't know for certain how many strikes there are before something happens. Let's not do that then.
I'm like, Too bad we can open those books though. I really want to know what they were.
I'm sure we could come back to them one of these days. But for now, it's not the time.
For today. Alright. Your substance teleportation circle, nothing immediately happens, but after about 10 or so seconds, you feel yourselves being shifted once again.
You feel the ground shift as a howl comes from the hallway.
Especially because of lag, I don't want to just be dragging you guys between maps. Do you guys plan to rest or do anything in the foyer, specifically?
I'd rather not be here when they are here.
Valid.
Yeah, probably should get
Hit
out.
the road.
No one's too injured, are they?
I'm alright.
I, for one, didn't take any actual hit point damage.
Say,
I didn't feel a thing. Arrow
To
in
be
his back.
honest, I know, right? Fucking crit twice over there.
Poor buddy. Alright, well, the group has to the foyer, outside the cast. You get a look at the massive tower, not having any clue what part of it you were in, or what else is there to explore. How the hell the physicality of that thing even works. But, as we begin the path, are you guys heading in the direction of Ebonwall?
That's up to Paula.
In that case, Paula will begin to explain. So, what my group discovered for some time is that the hags have found them, and hags and the Dark Apostles of Vendra found themselves on the northern coast of Lone for a strange reason. We reason that it is because they are finding people for their experiments. These hags like to transform polymorph people and conduct horrible transformations on them. And they need suitable hosts for these, people with strong enough bodies to do so. And because of this, the hags are taking advantage of the opportunity that adventurers and werewolves alike are exploring and coming into the country to kidnap them and sending people out to take them for their experiments. The apostles are doing the same, but I can't understand the reason as to why they would be doing it. But who knows? Nothing good, I'm sure. But
We encountered a group just outside of the cast, actually. I'm not sure if you encountered them as well.
we did, in fact. We were relayed by the apostles. There was not many of them, but they were enough to overpower us, and they took one of my comrades.
Fucking dumb question. Of course I encountered them. I knew that. I say out of character.
So have you encountered them? Were they the... Do you think they were the same group? It was a band of 2, 3 mage types and a... wielding an undead ogre riding a cart, controlled by a necromancer.
yes, they ran into us.
So you dealt
Can
with
we
them.
go back to fight them?
We did go
Most
back to
of
fight
them.
them. That's when that motherfucker stabbed me.
So you guys dealt with them.
Oh yeah, stock. Almost all of them. One ran away. Other one slapped one of us and then ran away.
I think another one of the wizards, sorcery types, got away.
Yeah,
that's the other one that
Mage
ran
ran
away.
away, and Stock just kind of backed the Homer Simpson in the tree line.
He walked. He just walked. he didn't teleport, didn't dash. He just walked.
He
like
did
it
the
was
smartest
any
thing.
other
He
day.
slapped the
Was-
fastest of us, and then he just fucking
Was
left.
the
He
body
knew.
of my comrade uncovered?
They are interred with rites currently. They shouldn't rise, but, well, I don't know how the machinations of this place work. If you want, we can go back and exhume them, give them a burial elsewhere.
No, if you gave them a proper burial, that's fine. And I do think we'll be heading in that direction anyway, though. You said one of them stabbed you and walked away?
the fighter by the name of Estoc.
Aravi pulls up his cloak with still has that, or his tunic that still has the stab wound in it, like points to it.
What's he call, like, the hero killer or something? What do he call himself?
Along those lines, a hero killer. Seemed rather calm about it.
Oh, he seeks for heroes. That's fucking cool.
Our group encountered no such individual, but if he is as you describe, he sounds like a mercenary hired for the same means that I was describing. Hero killer or kidnapper of some sort. Makes sense.
We had the drop on their group, which gave us the advantage, allowed us to advance with relative ease, though Atoga stayed alive for longer than it ought to have. Still.
Well, if they live, then you should be careful on the road. You know where they went, you know what their intentions were.
Not in its entirety. I had only figured that the apostles were acquiring bodies for necromantic purposes, as is various cults' motivation. But if they've been going after the adventurers and whatnot alike, then something must have changed.
Aravi blinks as he realizes. Ah, yes. We came across some of the hags. Escapees.
Yeah, thralls, escapees.
Thralls, yeah. Escaped thralls, there we go. They may be trying to buy their freedom from the hags with captured heroes or adventurers.
I see.
That is also something we need to deal with.
It's strange, then, that these groups seem to be working together in some way. Again, it makes sense for the hags to want to capture and kidnap these people, take opportunistically using them as for experiments. The apostles share necromancy, but they seem to only crop up when they're up to something sinister and notable. On that note, group continue to travel. You guys will pass through the Crescent Path, where you had the Temple of Naja, where you had the encounter with the stock for the first time. Paula will go on to continue to mention. So, the issue is these hags have formulated a way, using whatever dark machinations they possess, to create a storm above the waters linking Gura and Lone. That's us both encountered. That has to be dealt with. I see no other way than to deal with the source directly to escape this place. Though I have a vague idea of where we can go to do that. While we were being swept away, I saw something. I saw what seemed like the eye of the storm on the coast in a specific spot. It had to be northwest.
That's as good a start as any.
Suggest
To the northwest.
Suggest we head to Ebonwall to start, as I believe you've mentioned before. It's probably the only safe place here, and we'd need supplies.
We should take those who fled the hags there as well. We gave them our word.
We did. We'll see if we can figure out how to get them in, because they didn't seem to think they would be welcome. But I do agree. We should pick them up on the way.
Get in, lads. We're going shopping.
There you go. You guys find your way back to the Crescent Path, where the Thrall escapees were set up. We convinced them to let you through. Well, it seems like they are still up and running. It's only been a little bit. And
I do not own any tokens with vision in this scene.
I own no tokens with vision in this scene.
Which is weird.
A blind
I voted for
fish?
half a second.
because
Indeed.
got them now.
I see vision, but no tokens.
That's funny.
I don't
It's
see anything,
interesting
but I
because I
guess that makes
started
sense.
with being able to see all the tokens.
I see
and
'em.
then everything.
Oh god.
You see two of yourselves.
Yeah, it looks only one
Okay,
at
I'm
the
gonna delete
moment,
the old one because those.
and it seems to be fine.
All right. There's a cursed duplicate of you guys. Then I'll delete.
I have 3 now.
Collecting them.
Let's go.
This is my invisible collection.
We're all Echo Knights now. We did it. We broke the system.
Hey everyone, they made it back! Sound echoes out through the small little encampment. So, what'd you find?
An invisible guard.
Ah! They've gained the powers of invisibility. Be careful. Stay on your guard,
You're
folks.
just being a real fucker before, huh? Or a real fucker right now. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Foundry.
My condolences,
Well-
Chief.
Simultaneously, a lot and not as much as we'd hoped. But still.
I
enough
got a
to
cool
satisfy.
sword.
You're successful and then some, honestly. Although, as Alyxend pointed out, not quite as much as we
Well,
want.
we haven't had any more. We haven't been approached at all by any members of the apostles or otherwise. So I believe we're okay for now. You weren't lying when you said you dealt with the others. So, credit where credit's due. Nice work. As to the next part, you said that you might be able to get us into Ebonwall. Or somewhere safe at least.
We will try.
We are willing to try, and we do have some leverage.
Well, one moment. And, their leader will come out once again. Speak with you guys. So, just a taller individual, stronger, leader of the pack. So, do you guys have some sort of plan? We have resources here for about another week or so. After that point, we'll have to go out somewhere. We're not sure where. Evan's side is nearby. Sadly, if worst comes to worst, there are those here that would pick returning to the hags over death in the forest. Hope is not strong here at the moment, but whatever input you have is valuable.
We have some leverage to get you inside Ebonwall. That's a good start. And from there, we can see about putting together a more permanent arrangement that might allow us to improve the lives of you and the rest of Lone.
Well, that sounds like a tall order, but first things first, do you guys understand why we're not allowed in Ebonwall?
Son, we just went through an entire ancient cast and retrieved an artifact of ancient power. This next bit's not going to be too hard.
Is it because you all got touched by a bunch of weird witches?
Precisely.
The fear that you'll be taken once again and then cause mischief in the town, right?
A little more intense than that, yes, we are. Less so mischief, more so we've been touched by these entities and
Murder?
there is a mark that they leave on us. He'll gesture to someone up top and he will pull down his arm, and in fact there is a grotesque branding, not even like centralized, just like across his body. These marks make it much harder for us to escape influence if it were to grab at us again. We are weakened to their charms and otherwise. And in that case, we are a liability.
Hold on. While in my child divinity aura, a creature can end a charmed or frightened effect on themselves. What if I take ward of them?
That's a good plan. It both improves their odds of survival and gets us retainers.
Sounds funny to me.
For now, stay close to me. at least within a short run's distance.
Setting out now, then. Very well. You have proven what you could do. We'll trust you so far. Okay.
This might be a good place to rest for the night before heading out with renewed vigor.
It certainly could be the case, but as strange as it sounds, I still want to put some distance between ourselves and the excavation team.
There is a auxiliary town of Ebonwall nearby. Ebonside. Though it is dilapidated at this point, it might be a decent place to rest.
There's Ebonside and Ebonwall.
Paul will explain that Ebonside is an attempt by some individuals who are not allowed in Ebonwall to form a little suburb of their own. They got further than anyone ever had, but eventually the woods took them. Now there's just a remnant of a small upstart town that occasionally will be inhabited by Droll escapees like these people, other horrible things, and eventually they get wiped out.
Safer than here? Or... because this has walls, a nice set of keep.
The apostles frequent this place, and...
true.
Well, with us manning the place, we could restore Ebonside to a brief moment of its former glory, I suppose. If you really would like to put that much distance, that's understandable.
Just for the time being, to at least have that gap between us and some friends we're leaving behind.
Very well. Okay. As we continue traveling, let me gather up the exact...
Load up the cart, gather their stuff, we'll head out.
So let's see exactly what your numbers have been bolstered by right now.
How many dudes am I bookkeeping for?
So luckily these guys have pretty base game stats. They have like mostly bandit stats, and what are these guys based off of?
My biography keeps getting...
I don't know what that is based on. So, I know... You guys still not see the tokens for them? It's so bizarre.
I still am unable to see them.
I refreshed the page and I
You know
can
what
see
it was?
everything now.
The map wasn't loading at all, so I changed the map to a
I'm trying
smaller
to
version of
refresh.
itself. Like as you... I think I did it as you guys were loading and it fucked it up.
I'll try a refresh then.
So, pretty nicely, you guys have your numbers bolstered by 2 wolves, effectively a bandit captain, 5 bandits, and 2 low-level diviners with like access to bless and cure wounds.
Wow.
We're gonna need some names for these
Yes,
gents
we'll give them
eventually.
Other tokens as well, like probably.
Ow.
So just the top downs.
What did the captain gave himself a name already? I forgot his name.
To be honest, I did not write that down.
Good
I'll
thing
scour the VOD
VODs
for-
exist.
He gets a new name now. That was his slave name.
Actually,
He gets a
yeah.
new name.
Actually, that's fair. So,
These guys.
Not mind me, Roy. I'm just going to sit on your face.
Ex-
Good.
X29 damage.
Die.
alright.
Why
Parting the thralls, hit the road again. You guys will pass up the temple to Naja. Doesn't seem like it's been used at all since you guys have last been here. But it definitely seems like people have passed through here. As we'll continue on. Is there anything you guys would like to do on the road?
Vidnov would like to rest using someone's head.
For now, you can go ahead and get a short rest, and I'll let you know if you get a long rest.
Open my facial cavity. Just roosted my skull.
I walk slowly back and I talk to the fish real quick. Like, Hey, fish.
There seems to be something rattling in my mind. Oh, that's simply
He was
Vidnov.
raising a small army.
Just install a bird box in my head.
Hey, fish. Things are getting
They
serious.
are. You guys have a
aren't
small
they?
army now. Imagine what you could do with that.
Yeah. But we gotta remember. But you're right. We gotta remember one thing. Your thing. The thing you got. We gotta get you out of that little
Eventually,
fishy
I'd like
form of
to,
yours.
but looks like we're all kind of stuck here until deal with whatever the witches are
Yeah.
cooking up.
Yeah, but we got that one thing that Roy used to cure that one beta guy, right? That notes did say it could break almost any curse.
Oh, you're
We could
right.
probably use it on you.
Say, that your bird guy, he was also transformed by the hags, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. Was he? I didn't know that.
I mean, I assume so. When I come from, people like that didn't just exist.
Got the Vidnov loafing on Alyxend's helmet.
Wait, so you're telling me that bird isn't a bird, and you knew that bird wasn't a bird, and you
You
didn't
thought that
tell
was
me?
just a bird? And he could talk?
Yes! Yes! You're a fish that can speak! What do you
I mean,
mean? You're not, this is not the
Well,
weirdest
yeah, but I
thing I've
transformed
met!
into this. You knew that. I kind of just inferred the same
Yeah,
thing.
but you're not, but you're...
Like
I am a
Like
pilot.
like that
walking,
thing over
talking
there.
boat.
He'll like fish gesture to Rava. Like that's like a fairy creature. That thing's like a beast of myth. That makes sense. He's just a bird that can talk, and I'm just a fish that can talk.
Okay, excuse me for that. Okay, we'll get both of them on it. We need that thing that Roy has to probably help you. We'll
Yeah, no,
ask
for sure,
Roy
I'm
for
down.
help. And if Vidnov can help too, we'll ask Vidnov too.
Great. Yeah, this sounds great. He gets excited.
But you really just didn't tell me that bird wasn't
he
actually
might
a bird?
be. I don't
Little
know.
fish tail starts wagging.
Ask him. He might be. You know what? What do I know about recent history? What do I know? I don't even know what he is. And he points over to Aravi. So fair enough.
A backseat. That's offensive.
I literally just don't know.
If I could hear you, I'd be offended.
To be fair, I don't know what most of the people here are. Those two, and then your new friends, the bandits.
You know what? You know what? We're gonna get you. I can't wait until you're out of that fish form. We're gonna teach you about the world. We're gonna re-educate you,
I
buddy.
like that.
That's good. All right.
Okay. The party will make it back to the. I think I called this the Crescent Path before. This is not the Crescent Path. You'll get back to the Crescent Path where that sign was that said that link pointed you towards both the Gastwood and the Ebonwall itself. However, eventually you guys, after a long series of traveling, Vidnov, you can do a short rest if you'd like.
Yeah, I already clicked it. It doesn't really
Okay.
change anything for me.
I guess we'll make your way to Ebonside. The path cuts right through it. You notice it in the distance after a while of walking. There is it's a clearing, and a series of dilapidated buildings, several of which, just about a half a dozen total, but several of which are destroyed and fallen over in complete disrepair. While a few remain standing, though no light or anything can be seen from them. At this point also, there seems to be no... Any lights, any signposts with lights on them have been extinguished in this area as well. The place reigns in complete darkness.
Darkness.
Spooky Woods. Man, it's crazy my fish had to tell me all that. Like, you do all this, you damn
You son of a
fish.
bitch. Alright, new map.
Is it better or worse to have lights in such a place as this?
Yeah, what do you say, Captain? Should we keep the lights out, or...?
As far as I'm
Okay.
aware, this place has been abandoned for a long time. It's probably okay. I mean, there's lights along the path to begin with. We're approaching Ebonwall, so this area is relatively safe from monsters, and we're far away from the Legion.
Very well.
A few lights doesn't sound so bad then.
Yeah. And you can see the moment they got off of the part of the path where they would have probably asked to put on, or they would have probably started to put out torches up once they got out of the lit areas of the map, or of this forest. So, unless anyone has any objections to it,
Skeleton warrior marches forward.
torch. So who's lighting up? Anyone?
I see through the darkness. I'm gonna look for a better thing to light up if there are any
All right,
more permanent emplacements.
Click.
I do have dark vision, so I don't worry about it.
300 feet of dark vision is in my possession.
Alright. You guys are free to walk around.
1/4 portion. Let's inspect the quality of buildings.
Buildings are absolutely dilapidated.
Oh. Who the heck?
They're in disrepair, though not completely falling apart quite yet. The escapees will begin to
There's a fireplace in there.
search around. Also, for the record, any fireplaces you see on the map are unlit at the moment. Even if the tokens don't look like
That's
it.
fine. We can light those up soon. Ooh, a shrine. Actually, it's a
It's
shrine,
a shrine
too.
to Amar, which is bizarre to find in this place, given that the disposition of deities within this place seem to be direct opposition to her. Stop. Hold on. Aravi? I need you to suddenly make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh god.
Suddenly.
Where has that cat
You hop
gone
out of the
to?
way as a metal clamp comes down on your foot, or almost does, as a trap that was set back there activates. Another bear trap like you'd seen before.
Clang. I'm at.
What happened?
Take care.
Bear trap.
Why the hell are there traps here?
Because it's probably not quite as abandoned as we once thought.
There is a dead thrall over here. Points to the dead thrall. Or a dead person, I don't know.
reason.
Another man, or you see the man here, has been also clamped by a bear trap and bled out. Not one of ours, but like you said, it seems like another thrall, like us, that has escaped. Poor son of a bitch. Why is this place trapped? This was fresh, too. This person might have been trying to make it to Ebonwall.
There are still those around.
Who placed those ones that we saw before, those bear traps before? Did we ever-
Steven.
Oh.
But that was for not people?
Assumedly, but then again, we may have made the wrong assumption.
Aravi,
That's also true.
give me perception check.
I thought you were gonna tell them make another dex save.
Very close. Your feet. You notice briefly as you take a step, the front half of your feet are not on ground, and you jump back really quick. There seems to be some sort of a covering that looks like dirt that is blocking something in front and under you.
More traps.
Gather in your men in the center for the time being. We should take a moment to assess our surroundings.
Seeing Paula and initially the leader's interest in the statue of Amer, Vidnov will fly to the top and perch on it for a moment before he'll just start using prestidigitation and clean it entirely.
Thank you, Vidnov.
Knock, knock. Open up the door. It's real.
Give a slight nod and assist in lighting any candles that haven't
As
been
you and
lit.
Paula sort of bond for a brief moment over this activity, she will talk to you. Vidnov, your affliction, is this simply who you are? Is this some byproduct of some curse of this land?
Oh, well, a curse to some, a gift to others.
Well, do you know where that likely source is from? It's here, right? The hags I was speaking about.
I don't know exactly where it was from, but I changed when I was in Kresk, so I have my doubts that anything from Lone is affecting me.
This place is the origin of curses and such. You did transform into that form, correct? I'm not assuming incorrectly. And yes,
You are
that sort of
correct.
transformative magic, turning creatures into animals and such. Specifically, the magic, the hexes of the witches here, the hags.
Well, if we have a need for me to remove this affliction, then we may seek it out. I don't see a real reason why it's needed at the
That's
moment.
Just continue to light candles and say a quick prayer. Paula is relieved to see an actual statue of her deity here. Very surprised as well. Alyxend, you find your way inside one of the buildings. Seems like there's some old cots that have not been used in a long time.
Considering the fact there appear to be traps everywhere, Alyxend will use their quarterstaff as a blind person would use to feel out the world and just tap, tap, tap wherever they go, just in case. Tap,
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 tap.
tap. Poke bed. Tap, tap, tap.
Before I walk away from the pit trap, I will. My ability doesn't technically work like this, but it's fun flavor. I will do the set that allows me to summon fire, and I'll flick the edge of it and singe it a little bit, marking the trap.
The covering will burn its way off, in
Oh.
fact. And the trap will show itself.
Huh.
Ooh, that'd be nasty.
Slightly disturbed. Is
Who the fuck would try?
That's more effort than a bear trap. Someone was attempting to make this a defensible location.
Listen, my men, me included, need to rest badly. You guys do you. We're gonna claim one of these houses, preferably the larger one. I'll try to get my men some rest. If not, we'll board up well and put up a watch, so we don't need to worry about traps outside.
Make sure you
Of
check for
course.
traps inside first.
I find nothing.
Yes,
Nothing is
correct,
out of
Alex,
place.
There is nothing out of place. Place does not look recently used, though it certainly has been used at a time in history. Not horribly ancient.
an old
Yeah, it's
chair,
a
I see.
stool.
Let there be ignition. And I
Alright,
light up the fireplace.
let there be ignition. Alright. The Thrall escapees will make themselves comfortable.
Tap, tap, tap.
As Paula and Vidnov are still around the effigy, he'll kind of quietly ask her, if you wouldn't mind, until the companions that are traveling with me question it, I'd like it to not be a
I
focus.
see. In my time, we studied up on these curses, and especially in preparation for our trek here, we looked into the hags and what they've done. So I understand, but if you do not want it to be spoken about, then I get it.
It's simply not something they should need to worry about.
I understand. But no, the experiments that people are being abducted for, that the individual you said escaped is presumably was hired for. Similar experiments to what you've gone through. You've come to accept it, and that's beautiful to me, but there are many being forced to partake in even more violent, transformative rituals. Your group was even potentially thought of for that position before you fought him off. And the rest of the group. I'm just scared. I don't want anything else to happen like that.
Well, luckily for me, whoever decided to change me, I seem to have used something more akin to polymorph than an actual curse. Because it wasn't dramatic when it happened.
Yes, it seems like these hexes and advanced witchcraft trickled their way down the art of spellcraft into more commonly used spells and whatnot, but I understand. And you all just begin to say another prayer.
Does this seem to be remnants of a tower?
Just another building.
Okay.
That one seems to have been under construction when it was destroyed. The roof was never finished.
Okay. Does this one seem to be mostly
the
intact?
The roof has collapsed on top of the building.
Oh, okay.
Really quick. And your dexterity saving throw, Alyxend.
Ah, wonderful.
13 is enough, as another bear trap right next to you and Roy just clanks together. These things are well hidden.
Vidnov hear this.
They're put here with purpose, and were hidden well.
These are everywhere.
Would that be loud enough for Vidnov to hear from that far away? Okay. I'll take up some small form of stick or something to light as a torch. And I'll just start flying over the area to try to spot these traps.
I'll do you one better.
Come here.
Get over here.
You'll see a bird flying with a torch, looking around the area before you can do your thingy.
Whoosh.
Alright. Eyes of Night.
You also now have 300 feet of dark vision.
Oh, cool. I can just fly straight up for a little bit, start looking around very carefully.
I can only give it to...
Wait,
oh yeah, you're right. Roy and Karps, I think?
I think Karps has dark vision, but not 300, so... No one's gonna complain about that.
Thank you.
Alright.
I trust Aravi would be able to dexterously move out of any traps they see.
That's what I'm banking on.
Like a perception check, and I'll give you advantage on this. Vidnov, the old shift. As you survey the landscape for more traps like this. Thanks. Thank you for advantage. Hell yeah. We love advantage.
We love to see it.
Okay. I'm gonna say you identify quite a few that are still along like the main path. You also find 2 more of those large pit traps. Bear trap here. Pit trap all the way at the exit, top right. And one here. Bear traps. There's one down here. And there are some outside of the windows up here.
That's actually a really great place to have them, in case anything tries to creep in.
And one up down here. Under the house to bottom right. They're well hidden enough where You get the sense there's probably a few more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll fly to each of the still covered pit traps and use the talons that Vidnov has to shift the cloak out of the way so that they're visible. And then I'll spend the time to carefully trip the bear traps
enough to-
harmlessly.
Well, if you know where they are, it might actually be a good idea to keep them around. Especially if we know where they are, and we can intuit where they will be, because they seem to be placed by all windows.
Oh, it would be even better if we changed up their positioning on whoever set them.
That'd be good too.
But the safest way to do that would be after they've been triggered. So that they're
What are you
disarmed.
talking about? Are you suggesting moving a live armed trap is dangerous?
For us that are made of flesh, it is.
Don't understand. Made of metal and bone.
Yeah, so Vidnov will take some time to carefully disarm and or trigger the
I'll
traps
gather up the ones
harmlessly.
you got in the middle.
And then... Yeah. Yeah, I'd say probably give half of the traps to the thralls. And telling them that if they wish to, they can set it within their building. That way, they have extra defenses.
Let them know. We should let them know that windows seem to be a place for more. So if you're going for a perimeter walk, don't hug the wall.
If you have to pee, don't do it next to a window.
Don't go out of
Oh
the
my
window.
God.
Just stand
Alright,
in
so
the
they
window.
Appreciate the heads up, and we'll let you know that they're going to probably trap the exits of the building. So,
I'll extend that knowledge to the rest of the party.
Wow. I wonder who was here who would leave so many traps around the place. Are they particularly good quality traps, or
They
like?
are pretty decent quality. They're nicer than the ones. They're a bit nicer than the ones that you saw in the Castwood.
Hmm.
We'll ask if the entire party can make a perception check.
Ooh.
Have we decided which building we'll be bunking in?
Clearly the tiny one. Less square footage to protect.
Once we are ready, I can set the traps so that whoever set them previously will trigger them if they try to disturb us.
See, that being said, I actually do quite like the idea of a smaller one, just so there is less, like,
I had to refresh real quick.
there is fewer angles to protect. Fuck! I keep rolling 7.
We always
sevens.
roll
Lucky
sevens.
sevens.
Lucky sevens.
Nah!
The best group name. The best group name.
I'm the bearer
Are
of the
you-
curse today, boys.
If
You
only we
should
could see
go to
those
Las
dice.
Vegas.
I had to refresh, the prompt never came for me.
Yeah, it was like weirdly delayed.
I'm still in the process of refreshing.
How's the input lag and stuff been?
Sketchy, but workable.
Intermittent.
Yeah, like I saw Karps' roll, and it just doesn't appear on the thing.
Yeah, I did refresh before you
Let's see
put the
what's-
thing up, so.
Let's see, it was higher though. It was a 15. It says it's a 15 too. It doesn't appear on the chat box. But you guys would like, you could pick a building to bunk in as a group. It's up to you guys.
Clearly, we should split the party.
Before that, I want to call Roy and Vidnov for a second. I need a favor. I need to ask my favor.
Yeah.
Vidnov is okay splitting the party if Vidnov takes the traps.
Ooh, actually. a proper identification on my magical stick might be nice.
I forgot to mention that. I have
nice.
doubly completed all your guys' magic items. All of them now have cool, funny quotes on them that you can look at. And on the back end, all the mechanics and stuff are fully realized. There's a small update there. And yeah, if you guys want to spend time with that during your rest that's coming up, you can. If you want to have your weapon growing through you like a black bramble. Whatever other fun features exist.
I gather Roy and Vidnov to the stump.
It'll add taste to Vidnov's physique. Yeah, I quote unquote finished loading and nothing happened.
Alright.
So I'm loading again.
It was a 9, or it was a 3, 9 total. But that's really
fantastic.
Figure out what's up with that. Maybe.
Okay. I'm just gonna close this window out and open it again.
Oh.
I'll humbly ask someone to ID the
I
god
believe
stick.
Vidnov is or Karps is trying to get Vidnov and Roy. Or something.
Alright.
So rejoining the session.
I take the fish off my back and I put it on the stump. And I tell him this. Okay. So I need a favor of both of you. This fish, as you know, as I said, is a talking fish. Well, it talks to me at least. He isn't really a fish. He's kind of stuck in this fish. Like a curse.
Vidnov licks his beak.
You can't eat him.
What?
Rolo wanted to eat you.
Why would you say that?
You licked your beak.
I didn't do. What?
You licked your beak.
That is preposterous.
Okay, first off, from what we read in those notes, that thing, your fumigator, has a possibility to break curses. And I'm trying to get this guy out of this fish. So I'm asking, you both are good at magic and stuff. I'm asking if you can help me fix him. By the way, his name's Bayu. He's a very bad memory. Like how he tells me things at the very worst timing without ever telling me beforehand. I'm looking at that fish very angry.
The stump's really splintery.
Oh, okay. I pick him up. He says it's splintery.
Yeah.
He's the only one that can hear the fish, right? Okay. Well, I don't think there's much I could do that would be of use. Perhaps in the morning, I could use one of my spells to try to... Try to narrow down what his specific affliction is.
Should we try to get the fumigator now or in the morning?
I mean, those notes that you have to tinker with it a bit more. All it did was just cure the substances. It's not going to fix curses. At least that's what those notes said.
It says that it could cure... Well, it can get rid of the omega thingy that it was affecting the guys in the lab. But we can give it a go. If any of my modifications help it work better, we could give it a try.
Sure. That's all I need to say.
Yes, I'm of no help right now. I've kind of spent my magic for the day.
I just wanted to ask you. You're both very arcanely inclined, so I was like, you were the best two options I have.
Are you still holding it out?
The fish? Yeah, I'm still holding out the fish.
Could I try an Arcana check on the fish?
I will assist you.
Nice slap of guidance.
Alright.
Yeah.
Advantage plus guidance.
So that'd be advantage and guidance. Okay. I just didn't care that I was pressing shift.
15. With you.
And
yeah.
guidance is 4.
Okay. With your
Nice.
connection to magic, you are certain that this creature has some magical property, though it's bizarre. You're not exactly sure what's up with it, but it gives off a very bizarre vibe, magically.
And even though it's been carried around on this Karps' back for a while,
does. It
does it
actually does
still
not stink
look
at all.
tasty?
Which, for you, may or may not actually be a good thing, for
Interesting.
sure. It doesn't smell fishy.
It has some strange magic to it. I can't tell specifically. It's just odd.
Like he's an odd little piece of flounder. I look at him.
What?
I mean, you are strange. Only I can hear you. Imagine being only to hear me.
I mean, I can only talk to
That's like
you.
me talking in my own head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Isn't that weird?
I'm going
Yeah.
to point at it and
Okay.
cast message on the fish.
Ah!
Are you able to hear or respond to this?
Are you doing some ventriloquist shit, Karps?
I ain't doing shit, man. I only got what you gave me, man. I don't know how to do ventriloquism. I can only
Did
shit like
Vidnov
the...
get a
You heard that.
response at all that he could hear? Oh, okay. Oh, you've been listening to that for the past week?
More than a week. For as long as I can remember, I can hear this guy.
It's a little grating, if you ask me.
Does he know that I can still
Fish, I
hear
think
him?
he could hear your voice. I tell Vidnov, he can hear you. He can hear all of you. He just can't speak.
Oh, he can. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so you heard
Vidnov will
that.
look to the fish and then look back to Karps. Well, I was able to cast message to him, so. Or it.
Yeah, I have no idea what
Pretty sure I'm a dude.
what they are. I don't know what you are. As long as you're confident on that, buddy. Cause I'm not. Cause you know me. I ain't checking nothing. You deserve your
Appreciate it.
privacy.
Yeah, I really do not know much about myself. I'm glad we're at least moving around now, not just stuck on a placard on the wall.
Listen, that was Grandpa's fault. I didn't
If
want
you
to
could
put.
talk
I
to
didn't
me,
put
we
you
could
on
probably
that
figure
wall.
out
That was his
something
fault.
with their like weird magic. If I could like talk normally, right?
Yeah.
I'd really like that. I've got a few things to say to some of these people.
Are they
Little bit.
nice things?
Little good, little bad.
You know, I'll take it.
Vidnov will hop onto the stump and just
absolutely
continuously
wants to eat
examine the
Karps.
fish.
Vidnov, be honest with me. As your party member, are you trying to eat Bayu?
I'm not trying to eat him. I'm looking at him.
Are you
looking
looking at him like a
delectable
delectable snack?
Not
I
anymore.
scared him off.
No.
I think my intense
No,
charisma scared him
Vidnov.
off.
No.
That is far too much for me to eat.
But I don't like that at all. Do you have something
On
you
the
could
other
put me
side
in?
of the encampment, Aravi calls back.
I don't trust that guy.
Aravi
I
calls
don't
back.
trust that guy as far as I can
Remember,
throw him.
fish needs
I don't have
consent too.
arms.
Vidnov, no, you cannot have him. How would you feel if somehow, not to be offensive, Aravi wanted to eat you? That'd be messed up, and we don't do that. We don't eat friends. Friends don't eat friends. Fish is friend, not
Vidnov
food.
slowly turns his head to look to Aravi.
I'm not gonna eat it. Especially if it's actually talking.
He squints very, very slowly and then looks back to Karps. Yeah, he wouldn't eat me.
So you wouldn't eat you or me. I'm a fish too, if you think about it. Do you want to eat me?
Consent is important.
I'm just confused.
Let's see.
I'm going in the house.
I've been confused ever since I met you. And now I'm stuck in an island of undead, a land with undead werewolves. And that one thing that was in that coffin.
You forget the word for vampire?
It's been a messed up couple of days.
What a fucked up day.
Listen here, I got shot with an arrow. We fought a giant monstrosity. There's been a lot. I don't have to remember everything. That's you. So just because you have amnesia, I can't forget.
Oh, you got
things
shot
now?
with an arrow.
What
You
the
got
heck?
whatever. You didn't get hit in the head, did you?
What the fuck? Oh, okay. I'm seeing the lag now.
I thought you were just spamming wisdom saving throws.
All right.
That conversation was fucking killing you.
No, I was trying to check. I was trying to.
You know what? I'm gonna stop
do a
bickering you. They're
check,
gonna keep
and-
looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, my advantage thing isn't working for some reason right now.
An update
Yeah.
to stable version 10.288 is now available. Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe that'll solve everything.
The new version is pretty good. That'll break everything.
I'm gonna
Like,
update the
genuinely,
game
if
and
you
not
have mods
check
running,
when
that
it
is gonna
works
break
and
everything.
Sit down Saturday night and be like, all right, let's play.
Karps is gonna lightly clap his hands, like, okay, that's all I need to say. Let's get some rest.
Before you put the fish away, Vidnov will point to it and cast message again. What do you remember of your transformation?
Pretty much nothing. I remember blinking awake as a fish and thinking that I was forgetting something. And slowly but surely, I'm remembering little bits. That's about it.
And that's vastly
Yeah.
different from Vidnov's affliction. Okay. Odd.
From a meta perspective, does the fish ever move?
It
or
does
is it
move.
just like
It
stiff as a
reacts.
board?
It kind of just chills most of the time and like
Ah.
just slouches in whatever natural position it'd fall into. But like you've seen it react.
Okay, that makes it way weirder than having it on his back.
So does that mean it wiggles every time that Karps
Occasionally.
talks it and it talks back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes he's just
At
calm.
first you were-
Other
at first
times
you were
when he's
convinced you were just, like,
excited,
shift-
he
like,
flips
moving a little
around.
bit like a
See
puppet.
whatever.
Well, you don't know.
Yeah.
Stares at fish as it wiggles some. No, that's not true at all.
And I thought that this thing couldn't get any weirder.
Can Aravi
Yes.
climb to the top of the building over here?
There's no
Is it
roof asset,
Switch
but it's
to
about
looking at Roy. So,
15 or like 20 feet tall total.
we have a talking bird that everyone can hear.
Okay.
A talking fish, only one person. Well, two people can hear now. A fishman, a catman, and a skeleton.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about Rava. He's part of the team too.
I'll point to Rava and message him. Can you understand this?
That's a really good question. Does Rava
I'm gonna say yeah.
respond to message? Sure.
Hello?
Oh, great. Now I'm a
You
middleman.
just pretend that I didn't
I
answer.
regret everything.
You could also just ask me.
Yeah. So aside from Aravi, I assume also hearing Rava respond, Vidnov will say, "Oh no, I can't talk to him. Strange."
Oh, thank God.
Perception check successful. Didn't even have to roll for it.
I mean, I cannot hear his message, so I will believe him. He has not shown something like makes me doubt about him yet.
Karps calls the
mean-
left building.
Regardless of how you roll, a bird is going to be very hard to understand its intricacies.
Karps lays claim to the left building.
Well,
Anyone can come in. I just say
why
I'm going-
don't we get settled for the night?
Yeah, I want to work in something. I probably should take the first watch, and whenever I'm done, I will wake one of you guys up.
Okay. You guys could go to where you're gonna end up sleeping, and also, where would you guys like to put the 4 extra traps you guys have? Alright.
Window up.
Okay.
I'm gonna sleep on the roof.
As
I
you're
just
going,
stand looming in this doorway. My head rotates 180.
My
Oh, yeah, you don't need to
my
sleep, do
token hates that you're standing there.
And a there one
really
last
quick,
thing I
as
have
you're
to
going
do.
to trap up this window, you find a trap already there. So you have another one. Open the door, I guess.
Yeah, I'll
is-
leave that one on the outside, and then I'll put another
this?
one on the inside.
All right.
They'll never suspect it.
Cool.
The double
Yeah.
trap.
So this window one that had one already, I'm gonna leave that one there untouched.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
gonna put one in front of it, and I'm gonna place the other traps on the inside as well. But I'm gonna make it clear for everybody else that they're already there, but make them hidden from the opposite side of the threshold.
I like it. And Karps, what are you finalizing?
One last thing. I'm gonna talk to that sword that spoke to me earlier.
Oh no.
He decided to do this alone in a separate building.
Oh no.
That's not
Convenient.
spooky.
I could see him through the window. I could see it. I could see it happening.
See it happen.
You suddenly see him plunge the sword into himself.
I become.
No,
the
what are you
sword.
doing?
I am the bone of my sword. It's fine now.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, hello, Mr. Sword. You there?
No response.
I just put it in front of me, talking to it.
No immediate response.
Hmm. Maybe he's still hungry. God damn it. Roy has a thing. Wonder if he eats morning stars. I tried to slap the morning star with arm breaker.
crumbles into pieces.
Wow. I thought that was going to take more than that.
Testing?
Nothing like last time. I don't
Testing?
think he liked it.
Why?
I mean, it'd be easier if you told me what you eat.
Silence.
Fine then.
Silence.
No.
Wielder.
Name's
Karps.
Karps.
Why have you awoken me?
Well, I don't know what you are, and it's good to have introductions if we're going to be a team.
I am Armbreaker. I am Armbreaker. That much you know. And I require food.
Well, nice to meet you.
I hunger.
Is there any specific type of food you like? Like what weapons you like? Do you like axes, spears, knives? What do you like?
I wish to drain the magic essence from every armament, piece of armor, gear, everything as I tear the weapon apart. Their wielders, reliant on their weapons that they think are invincible, forged in ages past, I will tear their confidence from them as I rip apart their armaments.
I'm like his worst nightmare.
Man, you must be best friends with monks then. Their art weapons are body. They don't even wear armor or
Your
anything,
friend
really.
carries with him a bag full of that which I crave.
Oh shit, my bag full of junk.
Well, you can't have all of them. They need to pay off a debt. You can have some, though. No, you only get some. Either we work out a deal, or you don't.
And I will aid you in battle. I will tear the weapons of your opponents apart with ease. And should you find another weapon like me,
Okay.
with a mind and a soul, I will consume it. And then I will be at my full strength.
Okay, so you eat weapon souls. That's what you do. That's your favorite snack. See? You're communicating. We're having an actual conversation. And you know you don't have to like yell, right? I'm like you're right here with me, dude. Just chill. Like I know you're cranky, you're hungry, but like let's just chill for a bit.
Not you and
I
you
have
have
not feasted in ages. The 3 weapons I was contained with. It took thousands of years for me to move. Enough. Just to destroy them. Do you understand how limiting this form is?
Were they living weapons too? Listen, I have a friend right here who feels the same way as you. He's trapped in a fish. There's a lot of people.
Is he considered a magical
I will
object?
help you eat, but he's my friend. He's a person. So no, he's not an object. He's a person.
You know me, and you know that there's not necessarily a strong difference.
Listen, I think of you as a friend now. You're part of our team. The 3 of us. You, me, Bay, we're all a team now. And
This is more of a pair, a duo. As I said, this form is limiting, but with it grants me great strength. You, as my wielder, will brandish me in battle. You will die gloriously as we tear apart our enemies. The great mages of this era will fall to their knees in fear, and when you fall, another one will rise and hold me.
Interesting. So what you're telling me is you really like to fight. See, now you're telling me your interests. We're really working things out. This is some good communication we're having.
Do you know when you will fight next?
Who knows? Apparently we gotta go fight some hags probably eventually.
Then
They
I will
probably have
gather my
magic
strength
stuff.
until then.
Alrighty. Well, it's nice meeting you, Armbreaker. By the way, this fish is Bayu. He's also part of your team now. This is a trio, not a duo. We work together here. He's Braids, I'm Body, and you can be the Blade.
There's no response.
Strong silent type.
Asserting dominance through ignorance. Best action.
Alright.
Let's go to sleep. That was
I love Karps so much.
Alright. Roy, you believe you have first watch, right? You're taking first watch. Okay. You guys. Oh yeah. You have
I
inside
also
first
have
watch.
first watch, for I
I
do
guess
not
you'll-
slumber.
Oh yeah. Aravi's on the roof. All right. Very well.
I
Roy,
just observe.
do you have any
4 hours of inactivity.
come to any epiphanies? Finish any devices while you're resting, Roy?
Yeah. I will take my time to look around, and when I feel that everything is calm, I will take out some items from the bag of holding, some mechanical pieces, and one of the what is it called? The phylacteries, the thing that has like a soul in it, and I will start cracking it up with some of my previous experiments and try to give it a form. And I will start assembling everything, and eventually Alex will start hearing, like, you know, the tinkering and some sounds coming from my hammer and my tools, and eventually he will see a smiley face on top of the table.
The smiley face?
A smiley face. He's a cute boy.
Observe.
So you put the phylactery in there.
He's cute.
All right. You could mark one of those
Yeah.
off. I think I might have just done that actually. All right, that will come up soon. The phylactery is excellent as a power source. The faint green glow is present within the machinery, but it's covered up. Not sure exactly what other effects the phylactery will have. Further research might get you that information, but for now it works fine with what you're using it for. And Roy's homunculus servant is created.
That will take the mind sharpener that Alex has,
Alright.
since he got the Warcaster feat. I will start, like, you know, like touching him, playing it with him, trying to make sure that none of the, you know, the gears are doing anything wrong, making sure he's fine. And I'm going to turn to Alex and say, "Hey, do you think they're going to be mad since our party keep getting bigger and bigger?"
I'm sure it'll be
Oh,
fine.
can this one talk?
Oh. No, he can't. He's just a construct, but I don't know if the dinghy gives him the ability.
It can understand you at least.
Yeah.
It can also fly.
How does that exactly look?
Mhm.
Does it kind of just go floating? No clips.
He is
like- like- You know, you pick up a animal by like the scruff of the neck. It just starts doing that. It starts floating like
Should
that.
have full control over that in the character sheet. I imported it, I believe, correctly. Here's your proficiency bonus and everything. Should be good. Let me know if anything wrong. I need to change anything.
Yeah, I think Force Strike is
Yeah, no
wrong, but I can try to edit that
That does
because
not
I have
seem right
a
here.
plus 11 to hit.
Right.
I can try and fix it, but yeah, that's probably everything that I'm going to do in my in my watch. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna probably take a rest. So if you want to wake someone else to keep you company, I can do that.
All right. So, you guys, about 5 or 6 hours into your night passes. You guys have gone long enough to give yourselves long rests.
I get
True.
my long
Who's
rest
gonna be
hour
last
four.
watch?
Woohoo.
Alyxend's up.
If they can find me, I'll probably take last watch.
I'll always stand sentinel. I will observe with you. Enhanced ability sounds like a good thing to have, but also hold person. Me deciding my spells.
Now, night is a strange concept here in Lone when the moon is almost always shining above head somewhere, and light sparsely ever peeks from the sun over its intense fog. But at a certain point, when the absolute dead of night is reached, I'm not quite sure exactly when that is, but it comes at some point during your rest.
Done.
Okay. Let's give me one moment to set this up.
Is prayer of healing, maybe? Ooh, I've lost connection to the server.
Should fix
Attempting
itself
to
in a sec.
re-establish.
Same.
Same.
Did a thing.